Yeah, I'm going to eat my Nutter Butters for dinner. Uh, Jose, are we streaming? Are you check? Can you check? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jose, after a shit show of travel. Oh shit! I got to record too. Damn it. Hey, we're live. I'm trying to figure out how to record in Audacity though. I can't. I can record me, but I can't record you. So I'm trying to fix that. You guys keep talking while I'm trying to do this, please.
Yeah, and Ferrari is not. Mercedes has been killing everyone.
Oh.
They've won 7 straight years in a row, but apparently, as of this 2022, like Ferrari's catching up again. I don't know. I haven't, but I want to start following F1. It seems pretty cool, dude.
So they just raced in Long Beach, right? Like last weekend. Was that F1 or was that?
No. Yeah, the only F1 they do here in the U.S.
Just raced in
Austin.
Long Beach, right? Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
does it?
No, I was laying on the sarcasm.
Yeah, they've done F. Is it IndyCar or kart racing in Long Beach?
Yeah, it's IndyCar, I think. In Long Beach.
I know there's the Indy series broke up like 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And they went Indy and kart, where basically Indy was just Indianapolis 500 and like two other races or whatever. And kart was everything else. If I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1-1, man.
All right.
Oh, they can only hear Cody. Can't hear Matt.
It's probably for a better show anyhow.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit. I'll sit back and watch the Dodger game. That's as soon as I can get it fucking figured out.
Talking about F1, dude.
You guys can hear me though. Everybody can hear everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll just go with this. I had to take it off of my headphones in order to get Audacity to
The audacity.
the audacity
Yeah,
of.
but the chat can hear us.
Oh, the chat can't hear us now.
Yeah.
Well, Adam can.
Oh, hold on.
You're talking about F1.
Susan was saying can't hear Matt.
Was maybe Matt wasn't talking?
Is that when he left the room?
Like when my mouth moves.
But yeah, you're right. Adam apparently can hear me because, I think the only F1 race. Oh yeah, okay, they can hear us all now.
Okay.
I can hear me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you guys. Let me see if I'm recording. Looks like I'm recording. I don't know if the recording's going to be any good or not, but we're going to go with it. You ready? Three.
I'll tell you right now, these are usually the episodes that I skip.
Yeah, we've gotten spoiled with the sound quality, so we won't go too
Yeah.
long. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it is 6:40 on Tuesday, April 12th, and it's going to be a shit show because I'm traveling in Portland for work.
I'm in space.
Jose's currently circling the Milky Way, and Matt and Casey are paying attention to the Dodger game.
You know, I'm trying to pay attention to the Dodger game, but I can't figure out how to get it on my dumb bedroom TV because I never watch TV in here.
What do you watch it then?
Downstairs, downstairs in my living room, in my Captain Picard captain's chair, like a regular man does, like in his recliner, comfortable.
I don't have a recliner, so am I not a man?
Then you're not a captain. You are not the captain of your ship.
I'm not the captain now.
Yeah. So I get, like I said, I'm traveling, so we're not sitting in the studio, and we'll try to keep up with what's going on. The sound quality might not be very good, so we won't spend as much time on the call as we usually do. But wanted to start with Casey. You guys at Bear Valley did a trip over the weekend. Tell me about that. Like how many people went? I saw the Instagram post that you was like, you guys were like, oh, we're gonna do the trip, and I was all, did I know this? Like I didn't know this was happening, but I ended up not getting home till Friday.
I think we had thrown it out there a few times, and then we started realizing that if we didn't do it this weekend, then like Easter was around the corner, then it was going to have to be, later. So we wanted to just throw one together. So, we've always done that one, the LGE CTS run, and we'd always say, White Mountain. Well, it's not. It's a portion of it. It's like the beginning of the trail. There's a whole bunch of shit to the west. And I had done a small section from the fork. Normally we get off of 3 and 16 on 3 and 17. And then we hit that fork immediately. And we go to the right. Like last July, I think, when I went with my buddy, we did the section we normally do. Then we circled around and went the other direction on the fork. Took that a ways and then cut out early even then. So this past Tuesday, or the Tuesday before the run, we decided we were going to go pre-run because we weren't sure about the direction we were going. And we took Joe K with us, and we go down 3 and 14, you make that right on 3 and 16, and normally we would go down a couple miles before we make the left on 3 and 17 on that LGE run. And instead we made an immediate left up 3 and 11. That takes you up a hill to a dead end. And my plan was to go to the right, which would cover quite a bit of territory that we hadn't done. I had done in the opposite direction, but never gone up it. But Joe K starts looking at the map. He's like, well, White Mountain's the other direction. He's like, yeah, look at the map. There's White Mountain's that way. All right, well, let's go see what that is. And holy crap. That's a badass trail. And it drops you down, like I said, all the way into the high desert, like freaking Apple Valley.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could. I guess I did. I know you can get there to Apple Valley or Hesperia from Big Bear, but I don't think I've ever wheeled that.
No, and it's just a service road. It's just the main road that we take in from Fawnskin. We always air down right there by the fire station, and we take that main road.
Yeah.
That main road goes all the way down, and that's what we ended up on.
Doesn't Fawnskin sound dirty?
Yeah.
I was about to say, what did you say? Excuse me. Can you repeat that?
Can you apologize?
Do you still have your fawn skin?
We got to go do that trail. Like, I want to do it all the way from 3 and 16 where we normally end what we thought was White Mountain. So we would be going backwards on the stuff that we consider difficult.
I think your sister took my Fawnskin.
Wow.
It's in her purse with your beans.
I don't know how many Fawnskins I had.
That's a different spelling. Right?
I might have had a few different Fawnskins. Different hides or quality. Go on.
So anyways, we went and did that trail on Tuesday. And then we got done, and we were like, yeah, I don't think everybody's going to make that. Because it's just constant, like the entire trail is, you're 10 and 2 glued to the road, like there's no service road in between. Like you have to pay attention the whole entire time, and constantly be thinking about tire placement and how much clearance you got, and going steep downhill, steep uphill. Like it's one of those ones where you get done and you just like take a deep breath and you're like, oh my gosh, that was intense.
I know how that feels.
Yeah.
Usually when well, that was intense. Was it as intense for you as it was for me?
We decided we're not going to do that one because we had a stock Colorado with us, a ZR2, and then we were supposed to have a couple other people that weren't going to make it either. Andre was going to come in his new GX. We were like, yeah, that's not going to go good.
That ain't happening.
Yeah. So we decided to do what we were previously thinking, which was go up that same road, 3 and 11, but hang a right and do a couple miles up into the point where we get to the trail we usually do. And like right off the bat, there's this pretty gnarly hill climb that took a little, doing to get up it. I can't wait to show you guys that trail. We got to do it soon before it gets too hot too.
My favorite part was I talked to Casey Saturday afternoon, and I was like, "Hey, how we doing? What's going on? Who all went?" And he said, "Yeah, Nicole was there." I said, "How'd Nicole do?" And he said, "Well, Nicole was doing Nicole things." And then later he shows the video of her bombing up a hill up on top of a log, breaking the end of the log off. And I just love the fact that we all know what Nicole things are.
The first hill climb that you come to on that run,
yeah,
right, where it's just kind of rutted, just kind of twisty, and there's those down logs off to the right. And I told everybody, stay on the right side; it's easier. And she started bouncing a little bit and kind of like lost traction and skipped over to the right. And instead of correcting to the left, she just floored it straight and went right up this fucking log. And I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm standing there filming, and I was like. She scared me for a minute.
But she's an arranger, and she knows that it can handle it, right?
Yeah.
So
we only had like 6 people with us, so that was good. It was good that it was a smaller group.
Yeah, those kind of trails, dude, you can't have like 15 trucks. It'll be like a 10-hour day, dude.
Yeah, when we go do the trail I want to do, it's gonna have to be a small group, like us.
I'm making a note. So how long were you guys on the trail?
We ended up leaving the shop about 11, and we went around. We went towards the dam. We went around the lake that way to get to Fawnskin.
Did you take any damn pictures?
What's that? I didn't get any damn pictures, or damn videos.
All right.
I would say it took us. It had to be 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, probably. Because we went and did that what we thought was White Mountain, and then we went and did the rest of that LGE run as well. And we stopped for probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and ate lunch and stuff like that. So it was a great day. I didn't feel like I was out there forever, but it also wasn't super quick either.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I'm bummed I didn't go, but I was spent by Friday. We'll talk about that a little bit more. I was just thinking, you were talking about that trip and doing White Mountain, and we also want to do Gold Mountain, and we've said we can't do Gold Mountain until everybody has sliders. Matthew, where are you at on those sliders?
Am I on mute?
Not anymore.
So I have the material, and I've cut into that material and ground it down and stuff. I'm probably, let's be honest, I really.
I love how we started. I love the positivity when he started off like, and he's bobbing his head as he's saying it. The material acquisition is the initial part of the project.
You want to play good, and you hope you play good, and I think we play pretty good.
Yeah. I could do things. Have I? No.
You said you weren't coming on Saturday because you had to work on your sliders.
Yeah, but you know what? I went to...
That's code for I'm not coming.
That's code for it's warm, there's pool, and beer.
I'll be honest, Friday was baseball opening day, at least for Dodgers. And I went up to my brother's up in Hesperia. They allowed me into Hesperia. I had a special, a form I had
Day
to show,
pass.
and they were like, "Yeah, I guess, Dick, you can come in." And then
that's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I was there, probably drinking too much and having too much fun watching baseball or whatever.
Probably.
That next day was like hey, that was a rough one on that Saturday. That was a Saturday and Sunday recovery, so there was no way anything was happening on the slider front. But I'm going to attribute that to my baseball fandom. The previous weekend I did start cutting, I have the brackets. I know how far I'm cutting off the frame on either side. And I'm just going to go ahead and, I don't have, everything's kind of like budget build or what can I get the material for. So I went to Patton's a couple of weeks back. Actually 3 weeks ago, I bought the tube steel Schedule 40. I don't know what the specific. It's heavy and thick. The tube, 2-inch tube.
Yes, it is.
And long.
I told you I could have got you the material.
I know, but it was like convenient on the way home a couple of days in a row. And once I bought the tube steel, I'm like, oh wow! I thought that I was just gonna. Because I didn't really know. I just knew I needed like 2-inch tube steel. But I thought, well, maybe I'll just weld that off the frame and then do something with along the where the rocker is or whatever. And then after doing a little more research, like, I gotta get some 2x2, run that just below the door, and then kick off of there. So it was like 2 days in a row, 2 days apart. I just went back to Patton's and bought another $140 worth of 2x2 square steel. So I cut the square steel 8 inches, is going to come off the frame. And then I'm going to take I've already started notching the attachment to the frame so that I'm going to go 45-degree kick off the rail and then do my tube off of that. So it's going to come off and then kick up and then I'll do the tube kind of. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I have material now.
It's the square tubing off the frame, and then the square tubing that's basically, we'll call that the frame protection. It runs parallel to the frame, and then you can do the round tubing on the outside.
Yeah.
How are you going?
The round tubing's going to kick off at a 45 degree, so it's going to kick up under the door.
What are you going to do at the front and the back of the round with the round tubing? Are you going to bend it to 45, or are you going to cut at the 45?
Yeah, so I think I don't have enough of the. I bought out of the bargain bin the rectangular tube. It doesn't go. I don't. After cutting 3 feet or almost 3 feet, 32 inches worth of the material off of that for the brackets off of the frame. I don't really have enough length to cover from the very front or right behind the front wheel all the way back to the back wheel. But I'm kind of thinking, well, I mean, that part doesn't have to go all the way back. The round tube, I can go back, and I think what I'm gonna do is make sure that I have enough square up front. I'm gonna make sure my hands are up in front, so the round tube can dive into behind the front wheel and weld into at like a 45 or whatever. I can either notch. I have to experiment, and I might end up wasting some material just experimenting. But I'm either gonna notch a few times to get that round tube to kick down at like a 45, or maybe it's just one notch and it dives into the front. And then in the back, I already know I don't have enough to go all the way back. It's almost all the way back past the back door as far as the rectangular, but I do have enough for the round to go all the way back and then maybe just kick out a little bit. I don't know. So it's going to be kind of an experiment. We'll see how it goes. It's like sliders on a budget, I guess.
Well, just coming off the frame with the square tube to protect that pinch weld at the bottom of the door, even that is a big difference. And if you just came off of that with, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and the round tube, and not like a big sweep, that'd be more than enough to provide you the protection you need for 90% of what we do.
Yeah, most of the time when I come down on my sliders, it's on that 2-inch tube that runs the length of the vehicle. It's rarely is it the round steel up on top.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell
If
you.
lean over quite a bit, it'll protect. But most of the time, you come down on it, you're right on that square tube.
I don't know if you guys know me. I'm known for my aesthetics, and coming off of my rear bumper and how beautiful that came out, like now I've set a precedent, and I have to I have standards now. I have standards.
Well, yeah, but apparently those standards require about 4 more feet of square tubing. So you're about 4 feet short of those standards, as I can see it.
I'll have to submit a requisition form for another 4 feet of tube with somebody that lives in the same house. Sleeps right there. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't think that first the rectangular. I think it's just more critical to carry that and bring it up front. I have plenty enough again of the round tube. Whatever I can't get in the back is just going to kick out. I think it's just going to be a straight kick out. Just the 2-inch pipe with a 45 kick just to meet the where the wheel is.
But
The
if
wheel
you've got
fender.
Just the wheel itself, because my wheel comes out beyond the well.
Oh, you're gonna do it like? Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
If you put this square metal, if this is the square metal under the pinch tube though, and it falls short of the frame,
rear.
You come down on it in the front. That's fine. But if you have to drag that over, you want to be able to carry that slide all the way onto that square tubing until the tire catches and lifts you up. If that square tubing falls short by a foot or however, if it falls short of the rear tire, it's all you're going to do is just delay the drop and it clunk. You know what I mean? You should get some more square tube and just even if you only got but
when you go back that far, so say midpoint of the back door, the frame already starts stepping up. So there's nothing, even if I wanted to extend that far and put another attachment back to the frame, it's not really feasible there anyhow.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. Is so if the frame is already stepping up. So at that point is where your rocker panel is the most vulnerable, right? So the pinch weld and the area under the door has less protection because the frame is now ducked up underneath the bed. I would think you would want the square tube to go all the way to protect that section. If the square tube falls short, there's a gap of vulnerability, right?
Well, I think it depends. I'll tell you. I think the gauge of the tubing I got, the round tubing, could accommodate that. Again, where that drop off is. It's it's going to be maybe a foot.
So what if you
Cody, don't worry about Matt's gap of vulnerability. Leave it alone, dude.
I want to poke it.
About me.
I want to poke at it.
Let's just also add, I've not once dragged anything anywhere. So there's kind of how much engineering do I want to do? I mean,
well, so would you? What if you put? I'm trying to do. So what if you did the round? What if you did the round tubing instead of the square tubing? What if you did the round tubing? What if you did the round? This is why you have to watch the live feed. So instead of the square tubing, what if you did the round tubing under the pinch weld?
Keep going.
And then. Because you said you had more than enough round tubing, so what if you did the round tubing along the entire pinch weld all day, and then you did the square tubing as the exterior? So you
because the round tubing is probably really small and thin, and that 2x2 is 1/4 inch thick and heavy as fuck. Just the square tube would probably bend the round tube with all the leverage.
What are we talking about right now? Are we still talking about sliders or?
Yeah. You don't want that gigantic 2x2 material.
You say
flapping in the wind out there.
2x2. Okay, I was just curious.
I think that's the other something to think about is it's not like how much rock climbing have we done or whatever, but I think about the specific.
Not much because we're waiting for you to get sliders.
All right, but how many times has my thin profile?
Wait,
my
you
truck,
no one has ever
truck.
accused you of having a thin profile.
How often has that been an advantage, like going through things where I didn't have to worry about? Specifically, like when we were at Johnson Valley a couple months ago, and for hammers.
That was like 5 months ago.
Whenever that was, I don't even know anything about. Time is irrelevant. But there was like some point where you guys were all dragging on the sliders, and I just picked a nice clean line, and I had like 4 inches less width to slip through there. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking about at the same time. I know it's like protecting for that once in a lifetime. I don't even say lifetime of my owning the truck. That I'm going to protect the rear rock, the rocker panel behind the back door. Like, all right, man. I think that's kind of my mentality with that. That is my mentality. Like, I'll protect it for what I perceive to be a common occurrence or to step me up to the next level. And if it's not enough, and I end up banging up the back, in front of the rear tire. Guess what, guys? Bondo and some spray paint.
Oh, I cannot wait! I cannot wait till he gets to that point and he's looking out the window and he's like, "Fucking Cody, fucking Cody."
Yeah,
I just needed 6 more inches.
That's all we ever need.
But it's either the time and effort to like go. At this point, I'm pot committed with what I have. I can go buy another $100 worth of steel or something, or $20 worth of Bondo and some spray paint.
You can't.
How much more steel do you need?
Yeah, you can't. How many inches are you short?
I don't think I need that much. I think it's probably 6 inches. I'd like to go back
and
another
short sections of that stuff at work.
Of 2x2?
Yeah, 2x2 quarter wall.
Bring it Sunday.
I'll take it.
Bring it Sunday, and then
So guess what you're getting in your Easter basket?
2x2.net.
Wasn't that a domain name place? Like a.
It was a pyramid scheme.
Oh.
I'll see if I can find some stuff that fits neatly inside, unless you have it.
I got some stuff.
But because it'd be stronger if you sleeved it. But if you just scab it on there real good, like bevel the edges and weld the piss out of it.
Yeah,
it'll be enough.
It's exactly 100 times better than not having it there at all, which is what his plan is right now.
Yeah.
That way, if it breaks, it'll just break, and then just the steel will come up and ruin the side of your bed.
That's fine.
I'll
I
bring
feel bad for the
back.
rocks at that point if they have to touch my actual.
If we go do
front
Gold
bed.
Mountain and we go do the full White Mountain Trail, you're gonna need those sliders.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so Cody, didn't you just do like a crazy excursion, right? With your the truck made it, right?
We
Like
did.
3,000 miles to Graceland or something.
It did.
And
So
when's the Ram Rebel showing up?
Yeah, Tundra coming up.
Or the Tundra.
No intention for a full size.
The CR2 just got released today, so the Silverado. So
Dude, Chevys aren't viable platforms for off-road vehicles. That's just everybody knows that. Anybody driving a Chevy.
That stock ZR2 that came with us, I'm blown away by it.
Really?
Or is it a stock ZR2 besides?
Well, he's on
tires?
35s and it's a Bison.
Yeah, but Bison just means he has bumpers and the skid plates.
And skid plate. Well, this guy does it. He didn't even have a gas tank skid plate. It's just a plastic gas tank underneath.
Speaking of which,
31-inch tires.
Speaking of which, Casey, I think you're going to need to fabricate a new transmission skid plate for me. I tried to bend it back into shape this weekend, I cleaned my garage on Sunday, and I was like, I picked it up, and I was like, so I threw it in the vise and started beating on it. And I'm like, I tried to hold it up under there, and it's never gonna fit. I'm never gonna be able.
Why do I have two pieces now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Luke in the chat room brings up a fact that I sent him an email this week that I saw while I was out on my trip. The Q1 sales report is in for midsize trucks. The Nissan Frontier is now the number 2 selling truck, midsize truck in the market. If you combine the Chevy Colorado and GMC Canyon, they're slightly above the Frontier, but you saw that. Yeah, how awesome is that? We have been look, it's because of our efforts that Nissan is having this much success, and I am fully
third gen though, right? They're saying the
yes,
third gen.
Yes, because they're not selling the second gen anymore. But the third gen Frontier, the new Frontier, is getting the traction that we have been talking about for the last year, right? I mean, just with the stuff that you guys have done with your trucks, we are looking forward to.
It's been primarily what we've done with our trucks.
Yeah, it's all you.
Push the market.
We have a suspension system and wheels and not yet tires for a 2022 Frontier, and as soon as we have all that, we're gonna do an install party. We're not sure whether that's gonna be in my driveway or somebody's driveway or what yet, but we're gonna get an Ironman lift kit, an Ironman foam cell pro kit installed on Jose's 2022 Frontier. And the thing, what Jose doesn't know, which he's going to find out right now, is that I have already committed for him that Frontier with the new kit will be part of a photo shoot. And in order to do the photos, it's not a photo shoot in the driveway. It's photo shoots out in dirt on stuff. So whether he drives it or one of us drives it, after that install happens, it's going out to somewhere to at least get it. We'll take it to like the dirt lot next to Jose's house and just prop it. We'll prop it up on
next door.
Yeah,
next door and behind my house.
We'll prop it up on we'll prop it up on a abandoned shopping cart and be like, look, put that in the catalog.
And we'll just use his fancy background science
yes.
that he's got going on, and we'll just put in like rocks in some, and we'll put in trees in the other ones.
Yeah. So the Frontier is doing awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I think the aftermarket on that is gonna start ramping up quick.
But I mean that basically goes to or is indicative of. I think everybody believes Nissan makes a quality product, and now it's something that's aesthetically pleasing. It's a bitchin' looking truck. If it had the aftermarket support, it would blow up. I think it would blow past the Colorado, and again, the Colorado and the Sierra. What is
Canyon?
The
GMC Canyon.
Canyon is that weird 3-shock setup or whatever that is. That's not a sales point. It really isn't. I mean, it might be better than a stock setup, but people they want better than, and so that kind of puts it on better footing than the GM products. I think it's. I'm pretty pumped about it. I saw that earlier this week too, as well, as far as the sales numbers, and man. Fingers crossed. I hope this really pushes Nissan forward and gets everybody inspired by that truck.
Yeah, and going back to let's go back to one of our former relationships with suspension about having to get custom shocks made for the Frontier because there was no money in it because they weren't selling those anymore because no one was buying them. Well, now if people are buying the truck, then that's going to change the outlook.
They would if it keeps going the way it's going, all companies are going to have to really consider making products for the Frontier. Not only that, because it's a lower risk because like all the underpinnings are the same as last gen. So even if you're buying it for the 2022, it's the same frame and same suspension.
100%. It's
as the
proven.
second. Yeah.
It's proven.
Waiting for the report to come out to find out exactly if people are buying them or not. And they'll go, hey, look, this thing's really selling. Let's jump on it.
Yeah, and there are very few companies that have product ready to go for the Nissan. Ironman being one of them. Ironman 4x4 having a kit, and I hope that that grows. Like I would love to see the Frontier edge out the Tacoma in R&D for new products that would force Toyota to step up, deliver a next iteration of the Tacoma, push the market that much further, and that, you know what I mean? Like if you going back to, I don't know, we've talked about this before,
but see as much aftermarket support as the Tacoma has.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes, but and for years in the mid-size market, it was just Toyota. They could do whatever they wanted because they were the only game in town. With the Colorado, the Ranger, now the Frontier, everybody's pushing the envelope of that mid-size truck market, and it's only going to make all of them better because now Toyota's got to leaps and bounds to get back to the front of the pack, and that's just going to push everybody else. The success that Nissan and Ford is having is going to they're not going to want to lose that to Tacoma. So if Tacoma comes up with the next generation and it's great and it has some cool widget, everybody else is going to step up.
For their price point, don't they have to at this point?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, come on. I mean, they're.
Well, hold on.
With what everybody's across the board, everybody's spending an outrageous amount for new and used vehicles or whatever. It really comes down to bang for your buck. Bang for your buck. So if I were Nissan, I would make that sales point like, hey, here's a aesthetically new, pleasing vehicle on a tried and true platform. Blah 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 blah. This is bang for your buck, and the argument is that it's every bit as good as a Tacoma for a fraction of the price. So if I were Toyota, I'd be like, well, I got to come up with something new, because I think Toyota's. It's weird. Like to us, it seems like the negatives for. It's hard to say negatives for Toyota because there's not really truly there's none. But
no, I disagree. I disagree because
horsepower is last in class, right? And
the drivetrain, but
comfort.
I just spent 3.5 hours in a Tacoma, a Gen 3 Tacoma, driving from the airport, and it is not. You say that the Frontier is every bit as good as the Frontier is better. It's more comfortable. The interior is nicer. It's more comfortable. It's more enjoyable to drive inside the truck than the Tacoma. I mean, the Tacoma. If you're a Toyota fan, you're great. But when I got in that Gen 3 Tacoma, it reminded me the seating position, the back support, the what was happening with my ankles. I was reminded of.
Feet are out in front of you.
Yeah. I was reminded of why I got rid of the Gen 2 Tacoma and why I wouldn't want to drive a Tacoma every day. I mean, Jose can speak to it because he drives it every day, but the Nissan that I test drove, way more comfortable. Right immediately, from the time you sit down, you're already in a more comfortable driving position than you are in the Tacoma.
Agreed. No, that's true.
So I think Toyota and we think that Toyota has to do something, but you know what? If they're still when Nissan is the number 2 selling car, number 2 selling truck, Tacoma is still outselling it 2-1, right?
Maybe Toyota's trying to sell to. Remember that movie with Charlie Sheen where there was like aliens invading the Earth and their knees like folded backwards? I don't know.
The Arrival.
The Arrival. Maybe there's more Arrival people, and that's like we're not aware of. Like those the aliens that are buying Tacomas. Because again, for a regular human being, I agree with you. Like Tacomas are not they're not super comfortable. Like
They can make a couple of cosmetic tweaks and go, look, a new Tacoma, and people will buy the shit out of it.
Yeah, that 100%. That's true.
Yeah,
the new Tacoma's coming out next year. So
have they leaked anything about it? Is it looks?
Tell us, Space Jose.
From the future. Well, tell us what you see in your future.
Jose's broadcasting from the future.
No, the only rumors that I heard is that it's going to be a 4-cylinder turbo hybrid. Just like, because they just released a new Lexus version of the RAV4, and it has a 4-cylinder turbo and it's a hybrid. And they're thinking that new Tacoma TRD Pro is just like the Tundra Pro's hybrid only. The TRD Pro Tacoma is going to be that hybrid powertrain.
Okay, that could be cool.
Regular TRD?
Not the regular TRD off-road, no. I think that one's just going to have the 4-cylinder turbo. Probably 8-speed, I think. 8-speed or 10-speed.
Why are they afraid? Why are they afraid to give it all 10 speeds?
I don't know. Nissan only has 9. Yeah, I don't know why 10 or 9. I don't know what the magic number. Why not 11? Why not? I don't know.
Dial it up to what is that? What is that? Dial it up to 11.
Dial it up to 11.
Dial it up to 11. That's what's that movie?
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Turn it up to 11. Which one's better? This one goes to 11. Like, of course, it's better.
So yeah, back to Matt asked about the family trip. We did. I'll do a brief recap. I want to wait till next week to do like the full trip rundown. But we did.
How many weeks do you need to prep for? You better have like video of like some shit, because you went looking for ghosts and UFOs.
And we.
Did you see anything?
Did I? I haven't talked to you since. Did I get an alien insert?
You have to wait till you come to the studio to find out. It was fantastic. So the prep work that was spent on the truck the 2-3 weeks before, and the rack that Casey built was phenomenal. I don't know if you guys saw. I know you guys did, but I did a YouTube video of a walk around on the truck when I unloaded everything, because I figured I had to unload it anyways. It was a good opportunity to do that. But the way the bed rack was set up with everything having a space, it made everything so much more enjoyable. Like the ability, I think the key is the layers. Like if I want to get to this, I don't want to have to take this off of it and this off of it and this off of it to get to it. So by having those shelves on the side of the spare tire with a box on one side, a box on the other side, a box underneath, and then the stuff in the back, even with the net that Matt made fun of me for my sleeping bags, like I didn't have to lift one thing to get to something else. Everything was there. It made it super easy. We camped 2 nights. We camped 2 nights. So what happened was we camped in Lone Pine.
Hold on, was it supposed to be 3 nights?
It was supposed to. I'll tell you. We have to go to Alabama Hills, you guys. It was so freaking cool. We have to. That's going to be a trip. That's an expedition.
Dude, I've been trying to get us to go up to 395.
No, you haven't. You haven't mentioned that once.
Whatever, dude.
So we spent the night. We spent the night there. We stayed in Tonopah, Nevada. We stayed in Vegas. We left. We were supposed to go from Vegas to Sedona, and we left Vegas super late, and got to Sedona basically just in time to find a campsite. And on the way down there, we were like, okay, well that's this many miles to get from Vegas to Sedona. To get from Sedona to Tombstone is even further. So we're gonna have to be out the door like at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's gonna be in full day. And we were both like, you know what? We want to see Sedona, and we don't necessarily need to spend that much time on the road. So we scrapped the Tombstone trip, spent a second night in Sedona in a hotel room, and that's why we only camped 2 nights.
How many vortices did you see and document?
So
was there any remember that show Sliders? Did you happen to slip into a?
I didn't slip into nothing at all.
There was no portals.
No portals. We had them mapped out, but they weren't anywhere near where we were. Sedona again.
You had them mapped out, but they weren't anywhere that you.
No, we mapped them out.
And then you mapped them out and then went around them?
Yeah, essentially. Well, oh my God. Tammy doesn't listen to the show.
Let's go this way.
Tammy doesn't listen to the show anymore, so I'm gonna throw her under the bus right now. We left our campsite in Sedona, and she had booked this hotel room, and I was like, okay, we are now off my route. I don't know where we're going. I don't have it mapped because it's not on my tablet. I don't know where are we going. So we get off the trail, and she's like, you go down here, and you go to the third roundabout, and then you take this. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I go down, I make the third roundabout, I take the exit off of that, and we're driving. And I'm like, where is this place? You said it was only 15 minutes away or whatever. She's like, I don't know. And she's looking at her phone, and it must have been one of the vortices, Matt, because it was
hours later.
It was 3 roundabouts, but it was 3 roundabouts the other direction. And so we had to turn back around. And the thing with Sedona, if you've never been there, there's one road through town and one road back out of town. So I had just spent 20 minutes getting through the town, through the 3 roundabouts, and now I have to turn around and come back.
Yeah, but you know what? That's where they get you, is the roundabouts. That's 360 degrees. Where'd you come out?
Yeah.
Where'd you come out?
That's a lot of opportunities to get lost.
360.
Yeah.
That's how it's like a combination lock. You got to know where to come out the first roundabout, where to come out the second roundabout, where to come out the third roundabout,
yeah.
And then you've unlocked the portal to whatever all your dreams and fantasies come true.
Yeah. Oh, and it sounds
you didn't have the right combination.
Yeah, Nicole's in the live feed right now, and apparently she's going to tell my wife that I'm throwing her under the bus.
Good.
Okay, so you guys had a bet about the dogs.
Oh my God! Yes.
We got
and we won.
Wait, are they still alive?
We got less than 30 minutes away from the house, and one of them puked in the back. But so you assholes, after you talked about them shitting all over the place, I went back out and I have this tarp thing. I basically put a tarp on the seat before I put their platform down, and then put a blanket on it just in case. So they puked on the blanket, but it was small.
What you should have done, instead of suspended your sleeping bags, you should have suspended each one of them.
That would be funny. That would be
whatever.
You should have got big hamster balls and just put them in the hamster ball.
There was they were not nearly as bad as I thought they were going to be, but I am 100% certain that those fucking dogs hate me, and we were
now.
Now you're just realizing?
No, I knew it for a while.
All you had to do was ask.
But yeah, there was at one point the girls were not. We had gotten to that second hotel room in Sedona, and the girls were by the pool, and I forget why I was still in the room, and I was in the bathroom, and the dogs had just gone out 2 minutes ago to go to the bathroom. Tammy took them out to go to the bathroom. So I'm in the bathroom. I hear Carlos climb down off of his little blanket thing and he walks over to the bathroom, looks at me.
Say little fucking blanket thing.
Yes. I'm in the bathroom. He walks over, looks at me, turns around, and shits all over the floor. Tammy just took him out of the bathroom. She's not here. Guess who has to clean this up? It's like he was looking at me as he was squatting and doing it. Like, here you go. This is for you.
Watch this.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
That's not a knife.
We were at a pizza place.
You either have to clean this shit up,
yeah,
or explain to Mom why you killed me.
Yeah, we were at a pizza joint in Sedona, and it was like a Wednesday, and the local school must have had a minimum day because all of a sudden the pizza joint is filled with 9 to 13-year-olds just running around and laughing and playing. And Cooper wanted to eat all of the kids. He was barking, and they were both going ape shit, and I had to put them both in the truck. And I tried to explain to Tammy that she thinks those dogs are they're their schmooze. She's their baby. To everybody else, they're assholes. They're complete assholes, and they don't know how to behave.
I mean, they still bark at us every time we show up to your house.
Yes.
So.
Every week.
My dogs bark at me when I get home from work.
Yeah, mine too. And I don't.
Today it happened, and I thought to myself, if I was my neighbor, I would fucking hate me.
What makes you think he doesn't?
I'm not guessing he does.
All you gotta do is ask.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just gonna assume he does. They do.
But yeah, so we did. I mean, we'll do the. I want to talk more.
Did you camp near? Hold on. Did you camp near off of the extraterrestrial highway near Area 51? Did you camp near there?
No.
Why are we even talking then? What are we doing right now?
Yeah, like why would you? Shit, man. That was the whole point. Yeah.
We drove the highway. I'll tell you what. Between Tonopah, Nevada, and Vegas, there is not a goddamn thing. Like instead of trying to
aliens and UFOs,
instead of trying to colonize Mars, Elon Musk needs to go out there and build like biodome communities in the desert that are fully self-sustaining, and you could fit like 6 East Vales in some of these areas we were driving in. Like there was nothing as far as you could see.
Those are called trailer parks. That's called Hammett, dude. That's Hammett. There's nothing out there in Hammett either, other than a bunch of trailer parks.
Self-sustaining biomes, trailer parks.
There's a Chuck used to keep the natives at bay. Like they're just happy to have like robotronic musical robot. It's whatever. That's it. That's Hammett. But I honestly, I thought you guys were going to camp out. Like I thought honestly, I thought that was like the point.
Well,
was camping near. You went to the black mailbox. I saw that picture.
Yeah,
I thought you were trying to get pro.
That's a big deal.
We originally were going to camp.
You're right.
We were going.
Aliens are jamming your transmission. By the way, like you're already starting to phase out.
We were going to camp in Tonopah because that's basically the start of Area 50 of the Alien Highway. Mm-hmm. But somebody found out that there's the most haunted hotel in America is also in Tonopah, and I'll let you decide which one won. So we stayed in
Carlos.
Look at Carlos.
Shit in that hotel too.
Yes. So we stayed at the most haunted hotel in America. It wasn't haunted.
Was it haunted?
There was there was nothing.
It smells like shit.
It was nothing. It was dumb. It was a cool town. Like the town was built like in the 1900s for the Silver Rush, and by 1920 it was like gone. And now it serves as a military testing ground and a build facility for the like.
Sounds like Oatman.
Yeah,
It's like Oatman
it's
and,
very very Oatman vibe. Well, and Randsburg. You've been to Randsburg, right, Matt?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randsburg's cool.
Yeah, we stopped at Randsburg on the way up there and had a not quite cooked cheeseburger, and then it wasn't good. But Tonopah was cool. The drive from we did Tonopah. We stopped at the Little Alien, and the lady behind the bar somebody else was there, and they were like, she's like, well, where do you live? And she's like, in that house. And she kind of points behind the place, and she's like, they were like, well, how did you end up here? She's like, well, my grandfather worked at the military test facility, and then this bar came up for sale, and so he convinced my grandmother to buy it. And a couple years later, what's that guy's name that told everybody there was aliens at Area 51? What's his name?
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar. She's like, then Bob Lazar goes on. Bob Lazar goes on TV and tells everybody there's aliens down the road here, and here we are. And so, like, it was just a bar in Rachel, Nevada, until that episode, until Bob Lazar came out, and then he made it an alien themed restaurant after that. And that she's a bartender there.
It's great.
That was cool. We did. Yeah, I'm super. I've been up since 3:30. My flight was supposed to leave at 6. It didn't leave till 7:30, so I missed my connecting flight from Seattle to Portland. So a buddy from work actually picked me up in Seattle, and I drove 3.5 hours down to Portland.
That's what I was asking. Like, you said you were in the car for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Didn't you just fly in?
No, it's almost impossible to get a direct flight from Ontario to Portland. It's always a stop in Frisco or a stop somewhere.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to stop in Seattle and then change planes and then Seattle to Portland. That was like a 45-minute flight. But the flight in Ontario was supposed to leave at 6. It didn't leave till 7:30. I got off the plane at 10:07 in Seattle, and my connecting flight left at 10:10. So one of my buddies from work was actually driving down from Seattle down to the office, so he just swung by and picked me up from the airport and drove down. But it's been a long day. Was it 7:30 now? I'm not going to make it past 8:30 tonight. But
Yeah, what time is it up there?
yeah, it's totally different. It's 8:30. It's 7:30 in my time zone.
Yeah, but I mean, he's gone through a number of vortices, like,
dude, he's
who
all messed
knows?
up
I mean,
now.
he could actually be living in the 1500s, like medieval times. Who knows?
They had forks in medieval times? Or Pepsi? They didn't have forks, they had Pepsi.
Diet Coke.
He brought that stuff to the medieval time. Yeah.
With a Fromer's Almanac, and I started betting on sports.
That's it. Exactly. It started with jousting. And now he's a very wealthy man. Which means I still live in this squalor. Thanks for helping me out, Code.
Thanks for sharing the wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squalor. Space.
I'm still in Fontana, for Christ's sake.
Well, like I said,
too, but,
He's going to get you a night out in Hemet.
I'm in Fontana, but I'm #life above baseline,
Hey, can you get a background of Delaware on that thing, Jose?
I don't know what Delaware looks like, but see.
that's definitely not Delaware.
Looks like a Delaware. No.
So yeah, I'm
Santorini.
That could be Delaware. The Airstream with a.
We're in Delaware.
Yeah. I'm too tired to go through the whole trip. We'll talk about it more. I started working on a blog post over the weekend. I just haven't finished it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Jose's now got aliens. He's in a spaceship.
Whoa.
Wow.
Sound effects?
Oh, damn.
I don't know what's going on over there. So the
I'm very popular.
You are. Anything else going on, guys?
The Dodgers have the bases loaded, nobody out. Just so you guys know.
Who are they playing?
Yeah.
Just update.
And they took the lead.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that Dwayne Haskins news there, Matt?
The guy dying? He got hit by a
crazy.
car?
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up. Wait a minute. More important than that, Gilbert Gottfried died today.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
That's fucked up. You know what? Gilbert Gottfried, I'll always remember from Up All Night, like TBS, right back in
Problem Child.
No, Iago, dude.
Iago.
Iago.
But Jose, most importantly, like early mid '90s, he was on Howard all the time doing Dracula Gottfried, and it was like somehow initially it started off as like he was the Pope, but he did it like with a Dracula accent, and then it just kind of merged into Dracula Gottfried talking about kids and just, oh my God, dude. I looked forward to that whenever I heard, because he was on Howard at least 4 or 5 times a year, probably more than that. He was on all the time, and I thought it was hilarious. So that kind of bums me out. I saw that earlier today, like, dude, Gilbert Gottfried, not the greatest comedian, but very super influential. I just thought he was great.
He had a style that, and I don't know historically if he was like copying anybody, but from my perspective, my generation, he had his own style that kind of defined his comedy. Like you hear his voice, you hear his style, you know exactly who it is.
Yep. Yeah. Very. He wasn't afraid to take a risk.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the content that I'm not gonna duplicate what he was doing at that time. But back in the day, like on terrestrial radio, like this is before satellite radio, before internet or whatever, like the stuff he was talking about and the innuendo, what he was doing or talking about, like, was just hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty bummed out. I saw that probably about an hour before we jumped on tonight.
Did it say why? What happened?
Just that he had been battling illness for a while, just like what's his face that died like 6 months ago. SNL. God damn it.
Oh, Norm Macdonald. No.
Norm Macdonald.
Was it?
Norm Macdonald had been battling cancer for like 8 years, so I think a lot of people knew that he was hurting, but I hadn't heard nothing about Gilbert Gottfried.
No.
So I still pay for my Sirius subscription. I actually look forward to listening to Howard tomorrow just to hear his impressions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sucks. All right, well, like I said, I'll finish my blog post about the trip, and then I'll be in clearer mind next week to talk about it a little bit more detail. And then I did that video of the truck layout. Thanks again, Casey, for all the work that you did building that thing. It was so badass. The truck did great.
What was the best thing you saw visually or whatever? Or what was the... Because Sedona's pretty impressive. Like, what was the best area or whatever that you saw?
So of the 2 nights that we camped, we went up to Lone Pine the first night, and I was concerned about Angie. Angie, I don't know if you're in there in the chat room tonight. I don't see you, but Angie had made the comment about, hey, they closed down a bunch of the camp area, right? So I was like, I immediately started doing research, and I booked a spot at Diaz Lake, which is about 2 miles south of Lone Pine proper, just to be safe. It was like last minute, just to make sure. And sure enough, when we got up there was any campsite available was already taken because it was Saturday night. And she is in there. Thank you, Angie. So we just went back to Diaz Lake, which is just a little bit south, And it was a super cool campsite. It was a big open flat area. There's a lake off to the side. There's mountains behind, and it was just really, really mellow. I really enjoyed that campsite in comparison to the Sedona one. The Sedona one was cool, but we got into Sedona late. So and it was like a Tuesday night, and I thought, oh, we'll be fine. No, going through the main route that I had planned out with all the different campsites, it was like, this one's taken, this one's taken, this one's taken. And we kept going back and finally found one that off the main service road, you had to kind of wheel up a couple ruts to get to a raised area to it. And I got up there, and there was already a Jeep and a Tacoma camping off to one side, so we went to another spot, and it ended up being a great campsite. It was beautiful views and everything, but it was like I had to, once I got everything set up, I took my tailgate down, and I was setting up my kitchen, and I realized there was like a 6-inch cactus inches away from where we were walking, and I'm like, this is so I dug up the cactus and got rid of it, and there was a bunch of cactus and a bunch of
Why wouldn't you just move your stupid truck?
Because
Lightly,
everything was up. I know I shouldn't have said that. Edit that. But everything was up and it was done. It said done.
We went up to the mountains. There was all these trees, so we just
fucking.
It was that big. It was as big as it was average size. It was an average size prickly cactus.
1,000-year-old redwood is my camp spot.
Shit, you're right.
Other than the dogs, which I'll guarantee you was the most frustrating thing for you.
It was not.
Okay, great. What was the most frustrating thing?
Tune in on next week.
There is a hotel in Sedona called the Saguaro Hotel. Fuck that place. It is.
Wow. See?
So they spent. So picture a motel that was built in the late 70s, early 80s. It closed down in the early 90s. And then someone bought it 2 years ago. Rather than putting any money into making something functional, they painted everything wild pastel colors and then hired a marketing agency to take pictures to make it look like it's a fantastic place. But when you get there, it's a pile of shit. It's a pile of shit, and it was
18 times.
And it was a very, very expensive pile of shit, and the service sucked. And there was supposed to be 2 pools. One for we specifically got a room that was off next to the kids' pool. So
Hold on. Was it a pile of shit because you're a Californian?
No.
Expecting functional toilets?
Yes, that's what it was. I'm super fancy. I'm super fancy, and I when I go to a hotel room, I expect that the faucet, like if this is open for the faucet on the hot side, then this is open on the cold side. No. They point different directions, and once I turned the water on, I couldn't figure out how to get the right combination of this one pointing this direction and this one pointing that direction. Stuff falling off the wall, exposed flex on the electrical, beat to shit. This slider wouldn't close all the way. We got there, and there was a 1-inch gap on the sliding because it was off the rail. I had to lift it and wedge it back onto the track to be able to open and close it. We got a first floor patio that was supposed to go right to the pool. So we get there, we get the slider open. Presley's got her bathing suit on there, and you can look at it. They had caution tape on the gate, and the pool was closed. And I walked over, and so we called the front desk, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't know what you're talking about. The pool should be open." I'm like, "We're looking at it right now. There's people in there working. They were putting in new."
How big is this place where the front office can't even see the pool?
So they were supposed to send somebody over. They never came. So then I walked out, and there was guys just replacing the turf, like the trim and all that stuff. I was like, "Hey guys, when are you going to be done with this?" And he's like, "Probably sometime tomorrow."
2 weeks.
I'm like, "Yeah, no." And they're working in a different area. I'm like, "Dude."
Matt has a good pool guy that
Yeah.
makes rust and stuff.
I was like, "That's not going to work."
Over there.
that's not going to work, man. I'm like, we came here to swim. My daughter's like ready to swim right now. And he's like, well, there's just a bunch of dirt and stuff over there because we're not done. I'm like, I don't give a shit about dirt. Do you give a shit about dirt? If you don't mind, I don't mind. Can I just throw her in the pool? And he's like, yeah, it's fine with me. So we took down the caution tape and chucked her in. And 30 seconds later, they packed up and left for the day. So she was in the pool by herself the whole time. And then after...
That's not safe.
No, I mean, we were with her. And then just the whole experience was... It was not... For what we paid, like... If we paid $112 for a pretty old Holiday Inn, whatever, I would okay. But we did not pay $112. It was marketed as the cool hip spot to be in Sedona, Arizona, and it was a shithole.
I really want to know what you paid now.
Well, she didn't tell me how much we paid, but it was more than $112.
But that's like ghost money, or it's not real cash. If you're staying like in Sedona because of vortices and stuff, you should be able to make that money back when you travel back in time. It's an easy investment,
No. All right.
How long did it take you to get to Alabama Hills?
Well, I don't know because that's another thing we'll talk about next week. I found a place for the next expedition, and you three are going to love it.
Is it that Saguaro Hotel?
It is not the Saguaro.
It's this beautiful fluorescent.
We're going to go to the Saguaro Hotel, the Saguaro shithole.
Pools and everything.
Yeah.
New ownership and
Under new management.
No, I have an idea. I want to share the map with you guys and show you a couple things. And so, Casey, to answer your question, I don't remember because we had multiple stops along the way. We stopped in Randsburg. We stopped for lunch. A couple other things. But it's probably
Randsburg's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
From here.
Yeah, and then we stopped there. We had lunch. We hung out. Then we stopped at another place.
Straight shot, so you can't gauge.
Where did you leave? Like, you left like at 10 o'clock or something in the morning? Actually, I think that's right. You jumped on. You had a very late start, right?
Yeah.
To your trip.
Yeah, we started later than we expected, but still, I mean, it was a really, really good trip. Having all the right gear. Having the tent, having everything mapped out, I want to do more of that. I want to do more long trips like that. Even if it's like just a long 3-day weekend or something. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And then we got home. We got home Friday. And then Presley went to Knott's Berry Farm for a friend's birthday on Saturday. So Tammy and I had a good chunk of the day to relax. I still unloaded the truck and everything. And then Sunday, started getting stuff ready to get for work. And Tuesday morning, I'm in Portland. So I'll be back home on Friday and hopefully back to somewhat normal next week. So, all right. Well, anything else, guys?
Yeah, I'm watching the Dodgers are playing the Twins right now. You notice that the Twins have a TC on their hat?
Yeah, Twin Cities.
Trail Chasers.
Did you notice that third baseman's getting beat up?
No, he just got chewed up. Dodgers are blowing it out right now, but I just saw their symbol. I'm like, oh wow, that's Trail Chasers on their hat. But yeah, Twin Cities.
We'll have to get. That's a
fighting robot.
Muck, what up?
We'll get our attorneys on that real quick.
Yeah.
Get our trademark attorneys on that.
All right. Well, it is actually ended up going longer than I expected. Seeing as we're all remote and shitty audio, Casey's the only one that sounds good. I think this recorded. I'm not entirely sure at all.
I need a background.
Dude, you get the background. So on the bottom of your screen, there's the three dots. It says more options, and then it says apply visual effects, and then it opens up a menu, and you can.
And then you're just now sharing this information.
Well, I don't understand. Jose told you earlier it was on.
Yeah, see, there you go. You're in a coffee shop.
I'm in Big Bear.
Well, I don't want to be in the same spaceship as Jose.
I'm not in the spaceship anymore.
No.
Yes. Flaming.
I have to update my browser. Apparently, I need those things. So you're just stuck with my bedroom.
So, all right. Well, look, everybody in the chat room, thank you for being on the live feed. So we will. We still need to nail down the next trip. I've got a couple ideas. Although the new place I want to go probably can't be done in the summer because it'll be sweltering. But
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. So everybody in the chat room, thanks for hanging out.
It'll be like all the other trips that we've done in the summer.
It's either extreme heat or extreme cold.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to end the stream, and then guys, stick around. We got to do the intro, and then we'll talk to you guys next week.
See ya.
Late.
Hurting on